welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hello, thanks for stopping by. I want to show you guys a video today that I made over the past week of me achieving this color in my hair, and it takes me about a week because I don't like to do all the steps because there's like bleach and color stripper, and then there's the actual dyeing, plus I do treatments in between the steps to keep my hair healthy. So it does take me about a week to do this. A small disclaimer, I am not a professional. I am not a hairstylist. I do not have a license. I have never styled anyone's hair but my own. So if you are weary about doing your own hair, or you feel like your hair would not survive bleaching it or color stripping it or whatnot, I highly recommend that you go to a professional. I don't recommend that anyone do their hair at home, but if you're going to do your hair at home, I filmed this so you guys can watch my process and kind of put together your own process. Vibrantly colored hair at home is very doable, but it can be extremely damaging to your hair. So you need to make sure that you are using things like Olaplex or Aphogee treatments, which are like protein and bond replacements or bond builders to help keep your hair healthy so that you don't fry it off. I do a lot to my hair, so my hair is damaged, but it's not dead because I do take care of it in between dyeing and everything else. So I wanted to film this to show you guys what steps I do, and then you guys can kind of formulate whatever y'all want to do to your own hair. But I thought I would just share with you my past week of doing my hair and how I got this look. I used Manic dye in Mermaid and Atomic Turquoise. I am naturally very dark haired. Like, my natural hair color is so dark brown that it's almost black. Like, you can see my eyebrows are really dark. So I have to use bleach and everything else. So again, if you're not comfortable doing that at home, please go to a professional. But if you are comfortable doing it at home and it is something that you want to do, it is doable. And honestly, I kind of prefer to do my own hair. Like, when I was in 6th grade, I got like a mullet. Like, I swear to God, I asked for layers and I came out with a mullet, and I have like PTSD ever since then. I have probably 3 different girls that I actually touch or actually trust to touch my hair, and that's about it. But unfortunately right now with my little ones, we're lacking a village, so I really don't have like 6 hours to sit in a salon. So I just kind of took matters into my own hands, and why don't you go ahead? Hey guys, so step 1, I am going to go ahead and pull out all this old color that I have in there. And even though I am dyeing it the same color, it's really just like when these fade out, they kind of, some of them turn, like a lot of the greens turn like this muddy color, like how it is at the bottom of my hair. And I personally just like to have like a fresh canvas. I think I get the best results that way. Using the Manic. So I'm going to go ahead and strip all this old color out. I'm using the Joico, let's see here, Joico Color Intensity Color Eraser. And if you get this on Amazon, it is $10.99, and it actually comes like in a package with one of these brushes. So yeah, $10.99 for this. It calls for a 20 volume developer. And so I went to Sally's and I picked this up, just like your run-of-the-mill L'Oreal 20 volume developer, nothing fancy. And then also, as always, when you're doing anything to your hair, you're gonna want, I get these plastic hair caps at Walmart, and they're literally like 97 cents for 15, so super cheap. And you're gonna wanna also use gloves, because this is, well, it's not gonna stain your hands, it can burn your hands because the 20 volume developer will lift. So definitely make sure you use the gloves. And then you're gonna wanna get a mixing bowl. Mine's looking kind of shabby here. I've had this one for a long time, but I picked that up from Sally's. And then also, you want to cover your workspace. Like, you don't want to damage your bathroom cabinets. Like, if you don't care about your bathroom cabinets, you don't have to cover them up, but I rent and I want my security deposit back. So I'm gonna use this is just an old pillowcase. So I just like to throw that down on the sink where I'm about to work. I haven't washed my hair in a week. That's why it looks so gross and dingy. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mix this up and then throw this all over and let it do its color stripping job. Okay, so I went ahead and it calls for 3 ounces of the developer, and I went ahead and measured that out. And this is a powder. It's like a blue powder. It looks a lot like a bleach powder. You can see that. It looks a lot like a bleach powder, but it is really smelly. Like, it smells, I have the L'Oreal Quick Blue Bleach, and this stuff is like, it's way more potent than just like pure bleach, which is, I don't know, kind of weird, but. So I want to go ahead and want to add all that in there. Get it all out. And mix it up. If you have like super long hair, I would recommend getting 2 of these. Because usually towards the end, when I start to run out, I just have to add like a little bit more developer in it, which does kind of weaken its effect, but I mean, it still works. So I'm gonna I always take the end of my brush and mix it up. All right, so I got it all mixed up, and this is what it will look like, pretty close to bleach when it's all mixed up. And I sectioned off my hair. You want to use like some hair ties or some hair clips that you don't really care about, because you're gonna get them gunky and gross, and it's gonna bleach the hair tie because this lifts. So I just go ahead and start on the bottom, and you're gonna see me because I gotta look in my mirror, but I just go ahead and I start to just coat the hair. Because my roots are grown in and they don't have any color on them, I do skip my roots for this portion, but I will be bleaching those later. So this is just to remove the color that's already there. And this does not, again, like, because you're going to be dyeing your hair, you're going to be dyeing your hair the same color. If you're going to be dyeing your hair the same color, it doesn't, you know, have to be perfect. And you are going to bleach it again, so this doesn't have to be like completely 100% perfect. You just want to get a lot of the color out with this step. Okay. If you get it on your roots, it is going to lift your roots, which isn't, I mean, a bad thing, certainly not for me anyway, because my roots need to be lifted. But if you don't want your roots lifted, try hard to avoid your roots. Also, you really want to wear a shirt that you don't care about, because as you can see, I've already got it on me. So this is like my bleaching shirt. in my hair and I threw the plastic cap on. It says to process this for up to 30 minutes, but to check every 5 to see how much lifting that it's done. So you can check every 5 minutes. I usually do leave it on for the full 30 minutes, but I do check every like 5 to 10 just to make sure. So we're gonna go ahead and start the timer and I will be back with my results. Okay, so we're at the 30-minute mark. There's still some color in there, but as you can see, it's also lifting a lot of my hair. I don't want to leave it in any longer because I am going to be bleaching it later in the week, so I don't want to just completely fry it just yet. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in the shower, rinse this out, and I'm going to use a mask on my hair to help build up the moisture, and I will show you what it looks like when it's dry. Okay, so this is how it looks after stripping the color. As you can see, there's still a little bit of blue up here, but nothing too major. All down here, it's gotten all of the old green out, which turned kind of muddy, and that was really what I was aiming for anyway. This side is just a smidge darker, so when I bleach it on Friday, it's Tuesday, so I'm gonna bleach it on Friday and give it a few days to like relax. I will bleach this side first because this is the side that I stripped first, so that's where the color variation is. So I will see you on Friday with step 2. All right guys, step 2, we're gonna go ahead and bleach the rest of my hair, that like my roots and stuff that is still dark and that I wasn't able to get with the color lifter. So like this blue on top and my dark roots, I'm gonna go ahead and bleach those. I'm not gonna take it down to the ends as much. I've already bleached the ends of my hair like a ton of times, and so I'm gonna give them a little break. But I am gonna go ahead and bleach the top. So for this step, you're gonna wanna use your protector. Again, this is the same thing that I used in step 1. It's just an old pillowcase, but like an old towel or an old t-shirt or whatever to cover my workspace. You're gonna need the powdered bleach. I'm using the L'Oreal Quick Blue, extra strength, L'Oreal Technique High Performance Quick Blue, and I got that off Amazon, so I will link that below. And this calls for a 30 or a 40 developer. When I was trying to get the black box dye out of my hair and just lighten my super dark hair, I had to bleach it multiple times. So in that case, I used a volume 30 developer, but since I'm just bleaching this up here once, I'm gonna go ahead and use the volume 40. And I picked this up at Sally's. It is the L'Oreal Cream Developer 40 volume. You're gonna also need, just like in the first step, your gloves, because this will burn your hands if you don't use gloves. Trust me, I know from experience. And then you want your mixing bowl, and you can use a brush as well. Okay, so this bleach calls for 1 scoop for every 2 ounces of developer. And this bleach comes like in a, it has a scoop already in it, and it comes like on this plastic stuff. So it's like really, it's really fumey. So just make sure you open a window. Like if you see, I have my window open because this stuff isn't good and it smells horrible. So we're gonna go ahead and get a scoop here. Right. So I've already measured out the developer, and I'm going to add the scoop in, and I'm gonna go ahead and mix it up with the end of my brush. I had like a little metal whisk, but I don't know where it is, and I got it at Sally's. So they actually sell stuff that you can use to like mix up your stuff, and I just don't know where mine is. I think if I cleaned out my bathroom cabinets, I would probably find it. Okay, so I went ahead and I mixed up the bleach, and here's what it looks like when you're done. And I'm just gonna focus right here on my roots, and again, I'm gonna be looking in my mirror, so. Try to not put this too much on your scalp because it can burn your scalp. Like if you have a really sensitive scalp, I suggest that you not do this at home. I don't really have a sensitive scalp, so I'm all right. But if you have a sensitive scalp, you might want to go to a hairstylist. Always make sure too that you pull your hair back and do like this part of your hair. I have forgotten to do that part of my hair so many times, and then I've had to bleach it again just because I forgot to do this part of my hair. And I wear my hair up most of the time, so yeah, it looked really bad. This has really just honestly been trial and error for me. Like I said in the intro, like I'm not a professional hairstylist, but I did do some research and I did ask a lot of questions. But I'm not a licensed hairstylist by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, so I went ahead and I covered my hair. I put it up in a ponytail that I don't care about, and I covered my hair with the plastic cap, and it says to develop this for about 15 to 30 minutes. My hair is super duper dark brown, like it's almost black naturally. So I usually wait about 30 minutes, or as long as I can stand, up to 30 minutes, because it does burn your scalp a little bit. It tingles, and I mean, it's not incredibly comfortable. So I'll see you guys in 30 minutes. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes, and as you can see, it's pretty bleached. So it's time to wash this out, and then in there I'm gonna do a nourishing mask after, just like I did a couple days ago, just to kind of be nice to my overly processed hair. Okay guys, so here's what it looks like after step 2, after bleaching it. It's like super white. There's parts of it that are really white, and there are parts that are a little bit yellow, but that's actually okay because it will create like kind of some dimension. Like when parts of the hair are darker than others, I find that I think it actually looks good when you put the color on, because areas being darker and areas being lighter, it looks more like, I say natural, but I mean it's blue, so obviously it's not natural. But I find that it really helps out. So here we are, and the next step is going to be to put a little bit of love back into my hair. I'm going to use this Aphogee protein treatment, and you can pick this up at Sally's. It's like $3.79 at my Sally's, so under $4. And it's a 2-part. You do the step 1, which is like the protein, and then you do the moisture pack after you wash out the protein. So I'm going to do that tomorrow, and I will see you then. Good morning. So it's the next day, and I'm gonna go ahead with this Aphogee protein treatment that I was talking about yesterday that I got from Sally's. This actually calls for you to wash your hair. It recommends that you use their shampoo, but I don't have their shampoo, so I'm just gonna use my regular shampoo. And then I'm gonna do the protein treatment on my wet hair. It actually calls for you to shampoo, and then you put this stuff in like your hair after you towel dry it, and then you dry it with a hair dryer while it's in, and the hair gets like really hard and like it's crazy, like it's like rock hard. And then you rinse it out and you do the step 2, which is like the deep moisture balancing moisturizer. Infuses moisture, improves manageability, softness, and shine. I find that after bleaching my hair, doing a protein treatment like this is really, really helpful to just kind of put the life back into my hair. And because I do diet a lot, it helps my hair to always be somewhat healthy. Like when you process your hair a lot, like it's never going to be completely healthy. So this just really helps put the life back into my hair, and I like to do this before I do the final dyeing, so then that way I'm not like putting products on top of the dye and then having to wash my hair, because with color it washes out, it's semi-permanent. So I'm going to go ahead, hop in the shower, wash my hair, and then I will be back to show you how I put the protein treatment on. So keep on watching. All right, so how I do this is I just kind of like pour it into my hand because it is super liquidy, and then put it on my hair and try to like run it down. And it calls for you to use a wide tooth comb, which I just use one of my junky ones, to help kind of get it through all of the hair. So I just do this like to the best of my ability. I just try to make sure that it covers, like they give you a decent amount. So yeah, and I just put it in, and then I like drag it completely down. I really don't know, like honestly, a better way to do this. I wish I did, but this is like the best way I know how to do this. But it gets the job done. So I went ahead and blow dried my hair, and let me show you, like it is like super hard and crunchy. Like my hair is like ramen noodle status. Like I feel like it's 2002 before a school dance again, and I've used like a ton of that like Garnier Fructis like curl scrunch that we used to use. So yeah, it's definitely hard like that. Like it's really, really crunchy. When you're blow drying it, you want to make sure that you don't disturb it. Like you don't want to comb through it. I just move it a little bit to get it dry, but that's it. Like no, don't even comb through it with your fingers. So show you, it's like super, I can hear it like a rustling in my ear. It's super crunchy. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get in the shower, and I'm gonna do part 2 after I rinse this out, and that's to use this. This is the Aphogee Balancing Moisturizer. And so this is awesome. This like really seals the deal. Like my hair is gonna be like 10 times more manageable than it was yesterday, because yesterday it was feeling like kind of like straw-ish from all of the processing. So I will get in the shower. I'm going to use this, and then I'll show you guys when it's dry what it looks like. It'll still obviously be the same color, but I'll just show you the manageability. Hey guys, what's up? All right, so step 3 is pretty much the best step, the most exciting step. I'm gonna start by saying that this application is a little bit different because with regular dye, you can put it onto your dirty hair. But when you use Manic Panic, because it's a semi-permanent, it's gonna sit on top of your hair versus penetrating the hair. So you wanna make sure you have really clean hair and don't condition it. So that's why my hair is like this giant like frizz ball mess right now, because I shampooed it and then that's it, and let it dry naturally. So it's a giant frizz ball mess right now, but Manic Panic is actually pretty hydrating, and I find that my hair looks really awesome after I use it. So for this step, you're gonna need your colors of Manic Panic that you choose. I'm gonna be doing Atomic Turquoise, which is like this darker, if you can see, it's this darker teal, and I'm gonna be doing that from roots to about half to 3/4 of the way down, and I'm gonna have it kind of melting. It's like a color melt, melting into this mermaid color, which is a lighter teal, and it looks a lot darker in here than it actually is on your hair. So because this is a color melt, you're gonna need to have foil, and I picked up some foil sheets, ones that kind of just like pop out of the top so that I can just grab and go. But if you just wanna like use your regular aluminum foil, go ahead and already have it into sheets, because once you get all this stuff going, you're not gonna wanna have time to sit there and like measure out different sheets. So foil sheets, and this will actually protect the strands from bleeding into having the colors bleed together, having like this strand bleeding with this strand. So it just really helps to keep that color melt effect going. You're gonna wanna have 2 different brushes, because you really wanna try to make sure that you keep the colors separate except for where they are gonna be blended together. And I will show you how to do that technique. But you wanna have 2 different brushes, or however many, because the next time I do my hair, I'm gonna do 3 different colors, so I'll need 3 brushes. Gloves, of course. This will stain your hands, your counter, everything. Like, it does eventually come out of your counter, but I don't know. Like I said, I rent, so I'm not playing games. And then you're gonna wanna have your cap as per usual. And I am using my pillowcase that I always use for hair to cover up my sink and my ratty clothes. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna start at the top, because like the longer that you have this on, the more vibrant that it's gonna be, because it's not a dye. You don't have to like time it to exactly 30 minutes and then rinse it out. Like, you can leave it in for however long. Like, I'm probably gonna leave it in for 3 or 4 hours. So I'm gonna start up at the top so that it's the most vibrant on top, and then work my way down. Okay, so Manic Panic, once you open it, just looks like this. You don't need to mix it with any developer. It is good to go. I'm obsessed with Manic Panic. I think that it's the best as far as bright dyes. I have tried Arctic Fox, which I liked, but I don't know, I guess I'm just old school with my Manic Panic. I love it. All right, so with this, because it's like a color melt, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, you want dimension and stuff. You don't want it to be like teal and then green, and then like, you want it to have dimension. So if each strand is a little bit different, like, as long as you have it about the same, like, if each strand is a little bit different, like, it doesn't matter. Like, I really honestly, I just kind of wing it. Like, I know about where I want to melt the colors together, and I just go for it, and it always comes out looking really good. So here is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a strand. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna start with my roots. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the Manic Panic, and I'm gonna cover my roots with the Atomic Turquoise, and then that way I can work my way down with the other colors. So and I know it says like not to try to not get it on your scalp, but I mean honestly, you're gonna get it on your scalp, it'll wash out, it's not that serious. Alright, so now that I've got my roots like mostly covered, I'm going to go ahead and start taking and doing the foil portion of this. So how I'm going to do this is I'm just going to take like a random strand and I'm going to start from the top. I'm going to take this strand right here. Maybe I'll take about half that. There we go. Yeah, right there. That's about a good amount. And I'm going to paint this piece of hair. And you can put these into a mixing bowl. It actually makes it a little bit easier because the brush doesn't like to go completely down into the jar, but I'm just going to use the lid for now, so that's fine. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and paint this piece. Make sure I get it completely saturated. To about, let's see here, where is it, about where I want it. Let's get a little bit further down. And all right, so now I'm going to go in for this bottom part and I'm going to work my way up. And it's okay if you have it on your hands. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. I actually think it looks better if it's not perfect. I'm going to go ahead and go in with this second color. My brush is all mangled, but I'm going to go ahead and start working my way up with this second color. Okay. And I'm gonna work my way up to here. Okay, now here is the thing. This is like the most important part about this, right? You don't want like a distinct line between this color and this color. So what you want to do is kind of like you do when you blend eyeshadow that's next to each other. Do this. Blend those colors completely together. And if you feel like it's not blending good enough, you can grab a little finger of this other color. Like I like to kind of blend this one down, the teal. So blend it down. See, so it's not like a harsh line, but you still have the variation of colors. There we go. All right, so now, and it is also helpful to have hair clips. Now we're gonna take the foil and you're gonna kind of put it, my hair is a little bit long for these pieces, so I bunch up the bottom. Like you want to keep color with color. You don't want to bend this all the way up here because then the teal is going to bleed and you're not going to have the effect that you want. So you're going to want to close it and just, just want to wrap it up. I know it looks a lot better when you get it done at a salon, but this is my bathroom, so that is how I do it. I get it on there tight and then I just move on to the next piece. And it is in your face. It's annoying. I mean, you can probably pin it up if you wanted to. I just kind of let them hang there until I get the whole side done, and then I'll like either wrap it up in a like a big hairband, or I'll clip it that way. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take random strand number 2 and just paint it on. And also make sure as you're grabbing these strands that you're checking your roots and making sure that they're all completely covered. And definitely get extra, more than you need, because you'll be surprised at just exactly how much you do need, and you don't want to be stuck and not be able to cover your hair. Like saturate your hair, like saturate it, because you don't want to wash it out and just have like a big blonde weird looking streak. Like don't be afraid to use product. Pin that piece back again, and here we go. This one, it seems like it's going to be a little bit lower, but that's fine, because you want to have dimension. Like you don't want it to be exactly the same or it'll look stupid. And then again with the melt, make sure you blend it. So incredibly important. Probably the most important part of this is blending it. All right. Another piece of foil. All right, and I'm taking it like this. I'm keeping color with color, and then I'm just folding it up and scrunching it up. I mean, by myself, honestly, that's the best I can do. go to a salon, the foils look like real pretty and they're just like sheets of foil, and that's great and all, but this is the best that I can do in my bathroom. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention that's really handy if you are by yourself is having a mirror, because I can't see the back, obviously. So I use my mirror to kind of like stand here and be able to look at the back, and I just apply it that way. Again, this is where it not having to be perfect definitely comes into play here, because by myself. Okay guys, so I got it all wrapped up. It looks pretty crazy right now, but again, this is way less harsh for your hair than regular dye, so I'm going to leave this on for a good 3 to 4 hours, and I believe that you can also apply heat to it, so I'm going to apply some heat to it somewhere in the middle of that time, probably in about an hour and a half. I'll throw the blow dryer on there because I want this to be as vibrant as possible. So I will see you guys in about 3 to 4 hours. All right, so it's been 3.5 hours, and at about the 1.5 hour mark, I did add some heat with a blow dryer. I don't know how much that does, but I just like to add the heat to it because anything that can help the vibrancy, I'm all about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this out, rinse it out, and I'm gonna follow it up with this Ion Color Defense After Color Sealer that I got from Sally's, and it's like $2.99. So I usually use about half of this, and then I'll use it again after the first wash. So this really, I think, helps seal in the color and helps me be really moisturized. So I will see you after I rinse it out. All right, guys, so here is the finished product. I rinsed it out, used the color sealer, and blew it dry, and I used some of the Chi argan oil. Yeah, argan oil. The Chi argan oil treatment in my hair. Whenever I use heat, I always use that to help protect it. And here you go. Here is the final look, and it's like, you can see it's got so much dimension, and I do have some on my face there, but whatever, that'll wash off in a few days, I don't care. And so this will probably last me for about 6 to 8 weeks, probably closer to the 6-week mark, because we are getting into fall, so I have some fun like reds and stuff planned for fall time. So thanks for stopping by my channel again and checking out how I do my hair. Have a good night.